Welcome back. I am so excited today for several reasons. So, a couple weeks ago, I have some people who follow me only on YouTube, and I have some people who only follow me on my podcast. And a couple weeks ago, I did one episode that I posted in both places to show you how I do allocations of profit first in my business. Now, I don't intend on making this combined episode thing a normal recurring thing. But this week is special. It's the end of a calendar quarter, and that means a couple of things. So in real time, it's October 2nd, 2023 when I'm recording this. And on my YouTube series, it is week 11 of showing you, looking over my shoulder, how Profit First works in my business. Now, I've been doing Profit First for a lot longer. I've been doing it for years, but just the YouTube series has been going on for about 3 months now. In the podcast world, I think we're on episode 28, and I wanted to be able to show people, and I will put the link to the YouTube video. I will put the link in the show notes so you can click and get to it to be able to see this on the screen. But what I like about doing this is showing you how, so you can actually, now that I have, 4 months of video, or 3 months of videos, you now can go through week after week and you can see how things are changing in my business. But what was so important about this week, because it's the first week of quarter number 4 in 2023, there's two things that are happening. And I thought this would be a great moment that I can be able to share with my podcast followers what's going to happen this week, as well as those who follow me on YouTube. But what's going to happen, because it's now the first week of a new quarter, is I need to change my current allocation percentages. I need to bump things plus or minus to get closer to my target allocation percentages. So that's first thing. And then the second thing is I need to take out my profit distribution. Now, let's update my percentages first. So profit had been 4%. I'm going to bump that up to 5%. Owner's comp had been 47%, but I'm going to bump that up to 48%. Now, my tax account at 9% is actually working, and it's still on track to make sure that I always have money set aside for taxes. So I'm not changing my tax allocation. My mastermind, same thing, at 7%, that still seems to work. So I'm not changing that percentage. But if you notice, if you're looking on the video, you'll see that on my totals, if I bumped up my profit account by 1% and I upped my owner's comp percent by 1%, I'm now 2% over. I cannot allocate more than 100%, right? So to fix that is my OPEX needs to go down from 33 to 31%. So that's it. So what did I take? Less than a minute to be able to update my percentage numbers. So every calendar quarter, it's a big deal, but it doesn't take a ton of time to update your percentages to your new percentages, and then you just move on and go through your allocations how you normally do. But I do want to take a moment to celebrate my profit distribution. So my profit distribution, in the book, Mike suggests that you should take 50% of your profit bank account balance as a distribution and leave 50% in the bank, and that becomes your rainy day fund. Now, most quarters, I follow the book with I take 50% and leave 50%. When I don't do it, so back in the spring of 2023 was the first year I was able to take my girls on vacation for spring break. Now, we have been on vacation before, but we're in Ohio, and we normally go somewhere, either we go camping in Ohio or we'll go somewhere towards the East Coast. But for spring break of 23, we went to go visit a very dear friend of mine who lives in Los Angeles. And so it became a big deal for my girls because of two things. We went on a flight, which they had never been on a plane before, and we went to Disneyland. We had never been to a Disney property before. Now, I had promised myself that this was a big deal, and I did not want to say no to my girls because I didn't have enough money. Now, I did say no to my girls. There's things that they wanted to buy that I'm like, no, not practical or way overpriced. But the reason was never no because we don't have the money. Okay. So back then in the spring, I did take my full profit distribution. I took exactly what was in the bank account balance and took it down to zero. But that's what that's there for. It's a rainy day fund, but it's also meant to be, I mean, it's my money. And so I took it as a distribution to fund a special event in my life. Now, this for the third quarter, I'm going to do 50% of the balance. So I am going to take a distribution of $1,092.55. Okay. So now you'll see how my bank account balance, if you're watching online, you'll be able to see how my balance went in half from my distribution. So I'm so excited about that. Now, so almost $1,100. What did I do with it? I did two things. For those who follow me know that last week I spent the entire week in New Jersey. It was ProfitCon week, which means it's the annual conference for Profit First professionals. It's always in New Jersey because Profit First Professionals is headquartered in New Jersey. Now, I was able to convert and tack on time. I went a couple days early and I stayed a couple days later and turned that into a personal vacation because the people in Profit First Professionals, like other Profit First professionals, have become my friends. And it's so hard for me to see them, like to talk on the phone throughout the week all the time or Zoom all the time. And being in person is just magical. So, so many of us flew in early and stayed late, or both, or either or. Okay. And I was fortunate enough because I had my profit account. I knew I had my distribution coming. I went in 2 days early and I stayed 2 days later. And it was huge for me to be able to turn that into a vacation. Now, so that's what I spent the money on my hotel, my meals, our entertainment. Okay. But I also had some money left over, something that I had been wanting to do. I shop at Costco and I got sucked into buying, they had this really great deal on their string lights that you hang on your patio. And I got sucked into buying, I bought 2 boxes. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Great deal. I'm going to do it. And then when I got home, I realized I had nothing to hang the lights from. So I do have a deck on my back porch or my back, out of my back kitchen. You can walk out the sliding glass door and there's a deck. And it's a wood deck, but the railing only comes, waist high, but there's nothing above that to hang the lights on. So, so with the rest of my profit distribution, I jumped on Amazon and was able to find these poles that you screw into the deck. I don't know, posts. I think that's what they're called for the railing, and they extend about 4 feet above the deck railing that have little hooks on them that I can hang my lights. So I ordered those when I was in New Jersey and they have not yet arrived. I'm so excited. But it'll just change the ambiance on my deck. And so I'm excited about that. But those were my two big things that I used to celebrate my money for my profit distribution. So what else happened in my business? Well, let's do this in order. I do this in a certain order. I need to start off and add my deposits from last week. Now, my business is a coaching business. I also do some bookkeeping work and I do some projects on the side. Well, I don't want to say on the side that are not my normal. I do non-recurring one-off projects. That's what I want to say. I am a CPA, so I have a lot of things that I potentially could do, but the heart of my firm is coaching. So when it comes to deposits, in the profit first terminology, my deposits equal my income, which also equals my real revenue. Now, I do have contractors that work for me, but none of them are significant enough in cost that I need to pull that money aside to pay them. Okay. So in my business, total deposits equals income equals real revenue. So last week, my total deposits were $6,245. Now, some of you might say, but you didn't work last week. You were in New Jersey all week. Yes, but I have almost all of the work I do is on set monthly payment plans that automatically pay. So this is the amount that came into my business last week. Now I have my new current allocation percentages, and that means that the money that came in, 5% now went into my profit account, which was a little over $300. Owner's comp at 48% is almost $3,000 that went into my owner's comp account. Tax stayed the same at 9%, about $560 there. OpEx, 31%, a little over $1,900 was allocated there. And my mastermind account, I added almost $440 to that account. So now that I've done my allocations, I have my new bank account balances. But the only distribution that I took out was I did my profit distribution, but it was also payroll week, it's payroll week. Okay. So for payroll, I paid out. Now, my payroll, if you haven't followed, payroll comes out of my OpEx account in full, meaning I process payroll and I have a VA on staff. And so I run our payroll, the total amount for wages plus payroll taxes all comes out of my OpEx account, but I have to take money from my owner's comp account and reimburse the OpEx account for the amount it paid for me. So the total amount of payroll, gross wages and payroll taxes that pertain to me as owner of my firm, that money has been saved on my owner's comp account. So I need to replenish that. So first off, let's just do my payroll. So I paid payroll and the total payroll was 5116.26. But from that, 4140.38 was my total cost of payroll. And so I need to transfer the 4140 and 38 cents from my owner's comp account and replenish my OpEx account. And this is everything that happened in my bank accounts in the last week. Now, if you were watching on YouTube, you can start seeing now the numbers that you see on my screen are just for this week. But you can see the graphs by bank account. So you'll see my profit account went up, 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 and then I went down by half because I just took a distribution. And then owner's comp, you'll see where it goes up and down, up and down, up and down because I'm contributing every week, but I'm taking out money every other week. Tax account, so tax and profit accounts run very similar. These accounts are money in, money in, money in, money in, and then one payment out, and then money keeps going back in. Now, OpEx, you'll see is up, down, it's sporadic, it's crazy. This is the chaos that we're trying. So when you add in the other profit first bank accounts, it's because you're trying to pull out and make the OpEx account less crazy, in my opinion, okay? In my words, I should say. So yes, OpEx will always be a little bit crazy, going up and down sporadically, but that's the only account that's out of control. The rest of my accounts are all in control. I know what I'm saving for. All my money has a purpose. And then my mastermind account, that's going to work similar to the tax and the profit accounts, where money's in and then it's up, up, up. One payment comes out, up, 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 and then money, comes out and so forth. But this is what this looks like in my business now that we have gone through a calendar quarter end. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below if you're on YouTube, or send me an email to podcast@profitscalethrive.com. And it's the quarter end. So if you're following Profit First in your business, please send me a message. I want to know, or post in YouTube. I want to know, how did you celebrate with your profit distribution? I do want to know. Let me know. Thanks and have a great